steal away, live for.
So this is Postbridge, and I'm with my friend Ray. Haven't seen each other for quite a while. We've pulled up, and the first thing we've done is started comparing legs. So I thought it'd be a good thing to get on camera. Say hello, Ray.
All right.
Friend, where are you going to? Let's raise a glass. Days to come, this time is ours. Let's make a memory that lasts.
Yeah, so I was rowing with the GB squad in 2014, 2015. For me, that time of my life, fitness became an absolute addiction.
This is my normal day-to-day, and that's the Veriflex.
Yeah, so you've got the newer style where my Veriflex is the basic without the carbon sort of.
And there's two toes in there, and you get a little bit of side flex, but not much. But this is what I use. And this is the. It's got an.
Oh, the Echelon VT.
Yeah. Which is hydraulic, which means I have to wear a waterproof sock with it, so I don't want to get water in it.
Trusted one of them anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I had a little problem with one. Nobody told me, it was one of the first legs I had, and nobody told me that I couldn't leg press in the gym. So obviously pressing as much as I can with this leg, and the other one trying to take some of the strain. So as I'm leg pressing, it's making fart noises, it's squelching out hydraulic fluid. I had no idea. I mean, I was just trying to press a maximum I could. I was told that I needed to get fit and get strong again. Went back to the prosthetic centre. As I walked out, it was just pumping and squelching everywhere. They were like, what have you done? And I was like, leg press. And they're like, how much were you pressing? I have no idea what it was now. I remember I was pushing my absolute limits. And they were like, yeah, you've gone double what this leg's supposed to actually hold. What's it, like 100 kilograms, 120 kilograms or something the leg's supposed to hold. So yeah.
Well, mine, I think the hydraulic's gone because it's clicking and creaking as I walk on it, but I've still got a more natural movement on it.
Yeah.
And I find that this one, any lateral movement, any movement here gets transferred straight to my knee, and I find it really painful. So that's why I've tried a different one.
Veriflex, that's the most bog standard flex ankle, so it doesn't actually do anything. I can't flex that at all. But what I like about that, I can stand and balance on one leg, even on a prosthetic.
Yeah.
So for me, that's my go-to, where it gives you stability. However, this one where it gives you stability, it gives you a little bit of energy returned as well, because it flexes. So every time you flex and move into it, pushes you.
So as you can see there, Ray, probably do about 400 or 500 metres before I have to stop, which is a massive pain in the arse. How far can you walk before you have to take your leg off? Do you have to do that?
Hardly ever, to be honest. Hardly ever have to take it off. So lucky in that respect, where I don't really suffer from phantom pains. I'm with an agency, ZBD Talent, and they're like an all-inclusive agency. So for myself, I'm trying to promote disability in a positive light. So say for instance, quite a few years back, the only disabled people you'd see on TV, they'd be the people who can't do.
They'd be what?
The people who can't do. You'd be like the person who's being told, oh, let me help you with that, rather than someone who's active and doing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I saw this side of things and thought, well, if this agency is promoting disability in a positive light and getting people to do things and show how active and abled, people with disabilities can be, I sort of put my name down and signed up to them to do auditions for TV commercial acting.
The whole disability thing for me, that when I lost my leg, I told you I sort of lost that person that took me years to become. I thought that person's gone. I know it sounds a cliche, but it's genuinely true. I thought I'm going to have to kind of set out to redefine who I am.
Yeah.
But I'm no longer the person I was. I'm gonna have to sit down, mate.
Yeah.
Ooh. So the person I thought I'd striven all that time to be, I thought, right, I'm no longer that person. I'm gonna have to redefine who I am.
Yeah.
But within what I thought within the parameters of disability, and it was really genuinely rowing the first time that made me realise how wrong I was to do that. And I thought, actually, no one should be defined by disability.
No.
It's such a negative thing for you to. So that's where that second row, the idea of the, not defined by disability, that's where that really came from.
That one, yeah.
It's one thing I wanted to ask you about. You might not remember this actually. When I first came to Hasler, I was in a wheelchair.
Yep.
I don't know why it resonated with me what you said, because at the time I was on quite a lot of drugs and everything was really quite hazy.
Yeah.
And you said to me, you went, bit of advice, get off the drugs as soon as you can.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know why that resonated with me, but I did. I got off them really as early as I possibly could, and I struggled with phantom pain for a bit. But I reckon that was the best thing that I ever did. Why did you say that?
For me, I'd been in pain.
Can you remember saying that first?
Yeah, I remember saying it. I used to always, because I was working as a medic beforehand, so for me, I was my own patient then afterwards. And I was in pain for 6 years before I had the amputation, and then I elected to have the amputation.
Oh, I didn't know you was elected.
And it wasn't just to get rid of sort of the pain and everything that was going on. So I dislocated my ankle in Norway, and when I dislocated it fractured, zigzagging up the leg in 3 places.
Christ.
It was pinned and plated, put back in place, and it wasn't a fracture down the leg that was a problem. It was a dislocation of the ankle. When it dislocated, it ground the top of the foot and the bottom of. Top of the foot and the bottom of the shin. So where that ground off from dislocating, it grew back a little bit on both, which gave me no room in the ankle. So there was impingement syndrome. I couldn't move the foot. So for me, for those 6 years, I was walking around on crutches in pain with an ankle that felt like it was breaking every day because the foot and the ankle were grinding together. So I was in pain with that in every waking moment of the day. So I was on meds to the point where I started to feel like I was just off my tits on drugs, because they just upped the pain relief until you could no longer drive. I was falling asleep at the wheel, so I wasn't allowed, and I just felt like I wasn't me. I was in this hazed bubble everywhere. So as soon as I had the leg amputated, I got off the meds as quick as I could, because in my mind the ankle was a pain. I got rid of that pain, but I didn't need all these meds in my system. And once I got rid of those, I could then start dealing with, they said you'll have phantom pains, you'll have nerve pains, and I wanted to be able to start dealing with that rather than just masking it. And I found as soon as I started dealing with that, I could get over it. And to this date now, I very rarely suffer with a phantom pain. I do get them, but it'll be odd scenarios where I'll go, and then it's gone. And it's as quick as that.
Is that like an electric shock?
And there'll be electric shock, intense heat, or sometimes weird things like, I'll go, my wife will say, what was that? And I felt like I stood on a nail.
Oh, right. See,
and I'll go I
just
don't know what it
shock.
was.
So I get 2 types. I get like a fuzzy kind of pins and needles I get all the time.
Yeah.
That's the one that only really affects me, in so much that sometimes it gets so bad at night it will stop me sleeping. Like during the day, best way of describing it is like tinnitus. Like during the day you can't, it's in the background, it's always there, but it's only at night when everything's quiet, that's all you can hear. With me, that's all I can feel, and it keeps me awake very, very occasionally. But the other one, and it has no impact on my life, it's a very specific pain, and it's jolts of electricity. And it will be in different places. Sometimes it's in the heel, sometimes it's in my toe.
Yeah.
And I'll go, ooh, ooh. But it's really weird, because if my foot was there, it would be agony.
Yeah.
But because it's not there, there's a kind of an emotional detachment from the pain, if that I don't know how to explain it. You'd understand what I mean. I think everybody else would probably maybe not.
For me, I try to explain it as, if anything happens to this leg, the pain is a signal that goes from the brain to the muscle. The muscle or whatever's in pain will then send the signal back and go, that needs to hurt. So on the prosthetic leg, all my nerves are in one bundle here. So when that nerve comes up and it says, right, need to send pain down there, it sends it down, and the end of my foot, where all the nerves were that are now in that bundle, so it sends it to the wrong place, and that's sometimes where it sends a wrong signal and you'll get heat or electricity. I'll get that feeling of like your toes being pulled apart as if it's tearing up your foot. But I can describe what it felt like after it's happened, because it'll just be, and then it's gone. And then I'll look at someone and go, I just felt like my toes were being bent the other way. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I do it.
It's afterwards.
When you're in like sat on the train on the tube and you go like that, then you look around. Did anyone see me do that?
But I do see other people other amputees, where they'll be in absolute agony for for say 30-40 minutes, hours at a time.
I know people
where they're just in cold sweats.
Where phantom pain is something they're dealing with that all the time.
So I do feel really lucky that my pain it's gone instantly, and then I laugh about that. Just felt like, because I'll say, how do I know what a nail feels like? I've never stood on a nail, but I'll be there going, that really felt awkward. But yeah, it's a bugger, but at the same time, because I know other people are worse off than I am, I normally go, well, at least it was only that.
Yeah. So I can't really complain. All right, should we crack on?
Crack on.
What'd you say about resonated?
So with that advice, did it resonated with you? Is that something that you did? You came off the meds?
Yeah, I don't know. As I say, I don't know, because lots of people are telling you lots of different things all the time, and I don't know why that resonated with me. I still don't, but it's like, I remember you doing it, so it was down in the gym, and it was like the first time I saw you, and you went, best bit of advice I can give you is get off the drugs as soon as you can. And to be honest with you, Ray, I didn't really know you from Adam. It's the first time I met you, but I don't know why, it just properly resonated with me, and I thought, I've got to get off the drugs as soon as I can.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that I found really helped, and being a medic, I found that other patients who were on long-term meds, as soon as you're no longer in pain, instead of just being on those meds, which is then clouding everything over, masking things and making it difficult for you to start feeling again and doing the things that you need to. Because sometimes pain's that indicator to show you what you can't do, and to slow you down is there for a reason.
Yeah.
And to be able to mask that all the time with meds, it would confuse things for moving forwards.
I've had these now about 4 or 5 years, might be longer. They're aunt and niece. The blonde one's the niece. But our first dog we had was a collie, and he was rescued from Princetown. He was on a farm, and he was just chained up. And when we got him, he was a lovely dog. He was about 18 months old.
Yep.
It's called Jamie. And you used to take him up on the moor and you used to go running with him, but as soon as you say here, he'd come and run by your side. And he was brilliant with livestock, bloody goose. But with people, it was a real pain in the arse. He just wouldn't leave people alone, so you'd have to lock him in the kitchen if you had someone over.
Yeah.
You know. And he was lovely, and we lost him, lost his bark first. He had a tumour in his throat, and I was away, and Claire had to get our neighbour to take him to the vets because she couldn't do it. And then we had a period of about 2 years, 3 years where we didn't have a dog, and then I accidentally rescued a dog in Afghan. It was a little puppy. And you kind of, not the bear dogs you get out there. It was kind of like a small Alsatian size, but tan coloured. And it was a tiny puppy, and it was stuck between 2 fences. So I didn't set out to rescue it, but I pulled it out from between the 2 fences, and it was half dehydrated, really dehydrated, half dead. And everyone was like, oh, brilliant. We've got a dog, dead dog. We've got a detachment dog. I was like, oh, brilliant. I've got Lombard looking after it. And then someone put me in touch, you know, Pen Farthing.
Yeah.
From Nails Head Dogs.
Yeah.
Put me in touch with Pen. And he brought the dog back. And so we had an Afghan dog called Hannah for about, I think she lasted about 10 years, which is a long time for an Afghan dog. She wasn't really socialised. And if I ever brought her up on the moor, she'd have to be on lead all the time, so I wouldn't trust her. And then we lost her. And that was, the way we lost her was really traumatic. I know it's always traumatic, but it was traumatic because it wasn't black and white. And we had to make the call with the vet.
Yeah.
And it was really hard thing to do. And you're like, are we doing the right thing? And she used to have these episodes. She started having them where she'd just go really aggressive. And you see it in her eyes. And she'd come back and go, and you could see in her eyes, she was like, what just happened? You know?
Yeah.
As you can imagine, like being an Afghan dog, you're either really smart or you starve. Like a street dog. So she was super clever. And we took her to vets, and Nalzad put us in touch with a kennels and a woman who was sort of like a dog whisperer. And she said, look, 99% certain it's a tumour. Went back to the vet and the vet said, yeah, I agree, but she's too old for us to do anything. I think the time's now. And we was like that. But when she weren't having these episodes, like the woman said, she could bite you or worse, attack a child.
Yeah.
And you're like, but when she weren't having the episodes, she was a loving dog, you know? So that was really, really traumatic, because when the vet came, he said, I'll come to your house, because she used to hate going to vets.
Yeah.
So it'll be less traumatic for her. But as soon as the vet walked in, she knew. I swear she knew. And it was really, really difficult. Oh,
You right?
Almost as difficult as walking through gorse. Yeah, it was really difficult. And so we didn't have a dog for about 2 years, and I said to Claire, I'm not ready for one. But as usually happens, I said, under no circumstances we're getting another dog. 6 months later we got another dog. These are half Old English sheepdog and half miniature poodle. So they're really clever, but they're daft as a brush. They haven't got any aggression in them whatsoever, and they're really good socialised. Took them to the festival the weekend and they were fine with it, just really chilled, you know, sat at the main stage listening to music, and they're both sat there or laying down asleep, just chilled. And outside of nesting season like we are now, I can let them go on the moor and they're fine, and just call them back. I'm gonna have to sit down. Me and Ray just marvelling at the view. See Start River just down there. That valley going along that way, that goes up to the Grey Weathers, which was where we was heading, but realistically not going to get there today, so we're cutting off, following the East Dart up that way. There's a waterfall, and then we'll head back over the hill from there. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
I love Let's sit down there.
I was never, say, a good football player when I was growing up. I was a kid who had to kick the ball like with a 50p foot, it would go the wrong way. That shoved me in goal because I was big. But when it come to doing anything, I was always competitive. I was the youngest of 6, so I had to be competitive in the house amongst brothers and sisters. So yeah, I was always interested in trying to push my limits on doing things, whether it be like, you know, cross-country running, whether it be any other sport. And for me, back as a kid, it was basketball. That's what I used to like, and martial arts. Just enjoyed doing them. Later on, I started rowing, and that was just a pure fitness thing. Where
was you in the Corps then?
Oh.
Should we walk and talk?
Yeah. I started rowing, and this was just before I joined the Corps, and it was to try and get my fitness level up so I could join the Marines. And there I was thinking I need to get to a certain standard, and the brutal sort of routine of getting better at rowing. You can only get better by rowing more, and it takes everything out of you. So it soon became almost like a drug, where I had to push my limits and find out where my limits were. And it was one of these, every session's a pass out or throw up moment, but then when you don't pass out or throw up, the next session you can push yourself that little bit further and try and find out where that give up point is.
So you've always had that competitiveness.
Yeah, and I had that in my system from a young age. Really, I joined the Marines at 17, and I always had that sort of never give up and push to your limits, which gets you in trouble at times when you're pushing to your limits and you're going blind and deaf, and you're getting to the point where your body's shutting down, but you're still not giving up.
So a couple of ponies and babies. Nora, stay close. I'm not worried about the ponies, I'm worried about them kicking the dogs. Stay close. Wait. Good girl. Yeah, even with joining the Corps, Ray, it was like when I got turned down first time, Chief Petty Officer Smith of the Royal Navy in Holborn careers office didn't get beyond the interview. Even then, it was never ever an option of joining the army.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a Royal Marine, so there must be that kind of ambition, at least, if I don't like competitiveness on its own, Nora, stay close.
I had this complete different sort of start off. So for me, joining the Marines, I'd never heard of the Royal Marines in my life. I had no intentions of joining any armed forces, but a mate of mine, Lee Wilson, he wanted to join the Navy, and he didn't know where the Armed Forces Careers Office was, so I was like, I know where it is, top end of town, I'll take you up there. So at 17-year-old, we both sort of had a little waddle up there, and I thought I was just sitting in while they were putting this promotion video on, being a bit cocky, competitive. I kept nudging him all the way through this video and going, I could do that. There was guys jumping out of helicopters, storming beaches, doing room clearance, and I kept nudging him going, that looks cool, I could do that. Not really thinking that there was someone behind me, who I now know with his leather wristband on that he was a sergeant major. It was just some guy in Lovett, tapped me on the back with his little clipboard, said, you get your mummy to sign here because you're only 17, and you could show your mate, because that's the Marines, you could join the Marines while he joins the Navy. And then with the remote control, put the next video on so Lee could see all about sailors and Navy stuff. So what he did, he gave me a massive nudge back. I went, yeah, Ray, you join the Marines and I'll join the Navy. So like I said, I'd never heard of them before. I come back for an interview a few weeks later, and still hadn't really heard much about them. There wasn't the internet to search on. So when I was in the waiting room there was a Globe and Laurel, and I sat and read the Globe and Laurel.
A bit higher.
That way.
Sorry, yeah, go on.
So I sat in the waiting room reading the Globe and Laurel, cover to cover, and I took it all in. And when I went in for the interview, they said, right, what do you know about the Marines? And I just regurgitated everything that I just read. And I was like, oh, I've got mates who joined last year, they were in 4-5, they've just been doing this in America, they've just been doing that. And I just blagged the whole thing. They were like, that's great, you're just what we're looking for. And I honestly had no idea who they were. So 4 weeks after that, I was down at Limpston doing what they call the potential recruits course, and running around doing the bleep chest, bottom field exercises, doing everything they can to try and make it so they can get about 50 blokes down to about 20. And yeah, that's where I excelled, because I was competitive on, I was fit and active, and I remember coming away from there thinking, oh crap, this challenge has now got even bigger. I'm now joining the Marines.
I can't tell you how much that upsets me because I genuinely tried to join the Corps. It was my ambition.
Do you know when week 15 goes to tactical?
Yeah.
I remember thinking, this isn't a challenge anymore. I think this is a career. And I was thinking, like, this has turned into a job.
At 13, you know, when you take your options,
Yeah.
we had like a careers fair, and because my school was in Dagenham, there was like the Ford's plant there. We had to get out of this gorse and up a bit, and they had like someone from the Ford's plant, obviously, but they had members of the armed forces, and I went straight up to the bootneck and said, when I leave school I want to join the Marines. And he goes, are you captain of the football team? I went, no. He goes, are you in the football team? I was like, no. He went, you're not what we're looking for. And then when I was 19, I thought, right, time to join the Marines. Went to the careers office, and exactly the same. End of the interview, Chief Petty Officer Smith, you're not what we're looking for. And you say you just read a Globe and Laurel and cuffed it. Remember James D. Ladd's book, which was like the first one on the Marines, and it had everything from 28th of October 1664 up to the Falklands, and I had to sit and memorise everything as if I was doing an exam. And I did that, and he still turned me round and said, you're not what we're looking for. So for you to say, I wasn't even really trying. Oh, Hilda. Good girls.
Feel my hat trying to blow off my head.
Let's see if we can find somewhere out the wind.
Steal away, live for the moment. You say we'll be just fine. Under the stars, we talk for hours. The tales you spoke so divine. My old friend, where are you going to? Let's raise a glass. Days to come, this time is ours. Let's make a memory that
I've set myself a goal now, which is a realistic one, of just doing fizz 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And I know, keep thinking, right, I'm going to do fizz every day this week. And one day I just thought, why don't you just listen to your own advice? And that's like, you know, make things manageable and set goals that are realistic, and then build from there. You know, for me, not doing fizz is a real mood changer, really. I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah, after about the 4th day of not doing something, that's when I start to feel, like you say, bad about yourself. So I was rowing with the GB squad in 2014, 2015. For me, that time of my life, fitness became an absolute addiction, to the point where I was pushing my limits, chasing goals, chasing PBs, world records, and I would push myself to the point of going blind, going deaf, because your body's shutting down, all sort of shuts everything down that's not an internal organ that's vital. So if you're starting to
really?
Yeah.
You push to the point of going blind.
Yeah, you start sort of what feels like a migraine, and your vision's going blurred, and then you just kind of can't see and you can't hear, and it's because your body's not needing your sight and your hearing, and before you know it, you know, you feel like you're ready to pass out, but you finished your whatever goal you were doing, and the next time you think, well, I can push further because I didn't throw up and I didn't actually pass out, but you were kind of there ready to pass out. So yeah, this happened for years, where I felt like it was a sort of self-sabotage, like it was some sort of self-harm going into the gym. But it was me. I was constantly pushing for these and striding for these world records, and I think over the about 4 or 5 years that I was doing them, these were Concept 2 row machine and ski erg.
I remember, as I said, like every time I went on Facebook, it looked like you'd broken another world record.
So it was. I was in my 30s, so 30 to 39 used to be the category. I don't know if it still is now, and then 40 to 49. And while I was in my 30s, I was doing all the rowing records and trying to beat them. I was never that good at the sprints because normally the big powerlifter guys are there. But the middle and the long distance ones, I was there, I was getting them. On the row machine and on the ski erg. And I think because I never celebrated my wins, even though I'd break a record and I'd say, yep, that was another one, I'd then see a fault in it and how I could be even better, and I'd go in the gym the following week and try and beat it again or push myself further, because I could always see where I could advance my training. And I would just be pushing myself to the limit where the 2k then got me faster for the 5k, and my 5k got me faster for the 10k. And you know, if I'm now doing longer distance at 10k, I'll do the hour and the half marathon and the full marathon. And everything would push on to the next challenge of beating that record. And at one point, I was asked how many records I'd broken, and I don't know the exact number, but it's around 50 on the ski erg and around 30 on the row machine that I'd managed to get. I mean,
30?
One day I'll have to count them. But I used to just get the certificate in the post and just put it into like a drawer in a folder. They're not on a wall or anything. And,
my world record's on the wall. They're front and centre.
But yeah, it was always...
But I've only got 4.
Well, yours are Guinness World Record, so yeah. they mean a lot more.
So we take a pew.
Yeah, just it'd be nice.
It's getting sore now, my leg.
Yeah.
Starting to limp. Oh. Essence.
I feel good, does it?
Take my hand, dance on the table. These mouths, they sing of love. Here's to us, unwritten future tonight. Such a lovely one. Seal the doors, keep all the good in. We'll hear the morning call. Sun will rise.
It's nice out of that wind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's feeling warm now.
I might have to take this off.
That's it. There's too many times in society where disability is looked at in a negative light. And yes, there's things that people can't do, and that's why it's disabled rather than, just someone who's having an injury. But there's many things that disabled people can do and can excel at. Let's face it, when we watch the Paralympics compared to the Olympics, you look and go, these guys are superhuman, how amazing they are, and being able to do it under the conditions that, that their life's been put under. And I now see myself as an older guy in my mid-40s. I'm still trying to be active and, I go to the gym 5 days a week. So I try to show that disability doesn't have to be disabling. There's still stuff that you can do. And that's working with my age now as well. I'm at an age where people start to go, oh, because I'm getting older, I can't do. Well, actually, I know people in their 60s and 70s who are still doing sport. So it's that frame of mind, but also it's where I'm with the modelling agency to try and promote that disability can be seen in a positive way.
One thing I've found, one of the many positives, and there are positives to being disabled, is it makes you think in a different way.
Yeah.
So you think, right, I can't do it that way. How can I do it? And it makes you more...
It's like when you was in the Marines, you had to improvise, adapt and overcome. And now you do that on a daily basis because of your injury, because of your disability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you, I think it makes you more, so I'm looking for a word, innovative. So you learn to think in a different way. You learn to think more adaptively. And that carries over in other problems, not just like physical like you come to something physical that you can't do and think, right, well, how can I do that?
Yeah.
You know, with one leg. But it's in other aspects as well. So it doesn't have to be like physical things. It's in every way. I find now, whether I come against a brick wall, and it could be administrative, I don't know, whatever you know, I don't think, oh, I can't do that now. So it's actually losing my leg has made me more positive about what I can do in a kind of weird way.